NTV.
Welcome back to Morning at NTV, and thank you for staying with us. Our next conversation is going to be centered around efforts to save River Rwizi in Mbarara. Now, despite ongoing efforts to address environmental degradation of River Rwizi water catchment that is in western Uganda, significant challenges remain in achieving the desired restoration, and challenges remain in achieving the desired restoration and sustainable management of the river catchment. It is against this background that the Advocates Coalition for Development and Environment, in partnership with the Ministry of Water and Environment, that is MWE, National Planning Authority, NPA, Mbarara District Local Government, and also Mbarara Municipal Council and other stakeholders, are organizing a two-day symposium. The symposium will start on Thursday this week and it will end on Friday, that is the 20th of March. And to tell us more about the River Rwizi Symposium, we have Dr. Arthur Bainomigisha. He's the Executive Director of the Advocates Coalition on Development and Environment. Thank you, and many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, I understand during this symposium, you were supposed to be having some dignitaries from the Go Green Initiative, from the European Council. Now, with all these cancellations and flights being grounded, what are the immediate ramifications of these cancellations on this symposium?
No, thank you very much for having me. Because you see, the River Rwizi catchment is part of the Nile Basin Initiative. So it's a global issue. It's not a localized issue. Yes, it affects local people, but it has a national and regional and international ramifications.
So you had invited these international players.
So the whole struggle to save the river systems, and River Rwizi being one of them, is an international affair. So the support is from the EU, and we had our partners coming in from the Global Economic Coalition, who are based in London, but they cannot come because of the coronavirus. We also had invited an expert on the environment and restoration of the environment from Israel, Dr. Shevo. Could not come down because Israel also has put a travel ban. But nevertheless, we think that we can still marshal our resources and in Uganda, locally and nationally, and make a contribution to save this river, which actually passes through 10 districts. It starts from Buweju, but powers its water in Lake Victoria. So while actually it's not in Mbarara. So Buweju,
Western Uganda,
the whole west, and then central Uganda, and then of course the Nile then moves through Sudan and Egypt.
And the theme for this two-day symposium from Thursday to Friday will be transitioning to a green economy in Uganda, restoration of the River Rwizi catchment.
That's correct.
So tell us more about the objectives of the two-day symposium.
Yeah, one of the objectives of the two-day symposium, of course, is to raise, create awareness about the impact of the degradation of the environment. And basically, all those 10 districts, most of the trees have been cut. It's actually, the places looks like Shaolini. They have shaved off the environment. We have cut down the trees, we've destroyed the wetlands, and people are sand mining on the riverbeds. People are using poor farming systems. And of course, the consequences is the climate change as we see it. And actually, 3 years ago, there was a massive drought that even forced people to move away. Yeah, so many animals died, but also there was a famine. So the whole point is we're trying to create awareness. But number two is to bring stakeholders together and agree on a number of actions that we can each work on, because we have different competencies and specializations. For example, you can see there are different stakeholders. Government, for example, has its own responsibility. Civil society has its own responsibility. We are involving private sector and Coca-Cola, Nairobi breweries, people in the milk industry, the hotelians, those are there. Government, for example, legislation, policy making, enforcement, awareness, and that kind of thing. That's part of their job. So we are coming together to agree on to understand the magnitude of the problem and share responsibilities. And it will also, there are so many people involved, including young people. One of the partners actually is Youth Go Green. So we are bringing in the young people because the young people have a bigger role, have more life to live. We do not want to bequeath to them an environmental burden. So we are going to be involving young people who will take on and shoulder the responsibility. So those are some of the objectives of the symposium.
So, number one, to respond to the potential disappearance of the River Rwizi,
Yes.
and to create a platform for these green micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises to showcase their green products.
Yeah, which is a third objective. The third objective is that actually want to support small, medium enterprises that are green. Green in a sense that they do not destroy the environment, they are inclusive in nature, and they are largely of young people, the youth and women enterprises to come up. And I can give an example. People involved like in producing briquettes, people involved like in bee farming. They are also farmers, but so we want to come up with innovations and technologies that are environmentally friendly, but are also smart and can actually produce so many jobs that we can actually absorb the burgeoning youth, because we have the youth unemployment. Because if the youth are unemployed and poor, they will destroy the environment. So we want to create new innovative technologies that are friendly to the environment, that are sustainable, but also can create lasting wealth. Yeah, so there will be actually exhibitions on day 2, and that's on the 20th at Imbarara Boma Ground, where these green enterprises will be exhibiting. And so we are inviting the general public to come and see and learn from these green enterprises, so that actually we can have people incubating and starting these enterprises to absorb our young people, but also to create lasting wealth without harming the environment that sustains us.
So substitution, which is clean energy. But then how much would a stall go if I wanted to exhibit my green products? How much would I have to part with?
The Ministry of Water and Environment has come up with the levels of, for people, especially the private sector, and our view is we don't want to discourage people who want to exhibit, so it will be for the high-level enterprises. I can see like 10 million, 5 million, 2 million for exhibitors, but that is large-scale private sector. But for the green enterprises, youth groups, women groups who are very small, the exhibitions are supposed to be free, so that we can have many of them exhibit and many people come and learn from them. Because if you impose costs also, it could actually repair, push away more people, and yet we want to create a critical mass, so that we can have a critical mass of people transitioning from use of charcoal, from use of actually wood fuel, which destroys the environment. So we want to make it as cheap, as affordable, and so that we can attract masses to exhibit. Of course, we are not forgetting the coronavirus.
Indeed.
I should also tell you, so there will be some measures to make sure that the people don't get coronavirus.
What are some of those measures? We would like to know.
For example, disinfectants, a lot of disinfectants will be there, and we are working with the Ministry of Health to make sure that happens. Also, the hotel, the main on 20th, rather on 19th, we'll have a workshop kind of method of about 200 people, and then on 20th we'll have many people outside. I should also say that the UPDF band, the UPDF actually is also part of this move. They will participate, especially from Makenke barracks. They will provide the brass band that will be playing, but others are also going to be involved in tree planting. So you can see that the whole struggle to protect the river systems or to respond to climate change is a struggle for all of us. And actually also it is, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate, of course, the government for the security forces to be able to realize that what the security threats for the 21st century are not going to be military, but some of them non-military, like coronavirus is non-military, climate change is non-military, and therefore positioning the security forces to respond and participate in this security threat is very commendable on the part of government.
And also during this symposium, do you use it as an avenue to enable your stakeholders to identify the different areas of intervention
Yes.
to restore and reverse the crisis of Rwizi degradation? Tell us
Yes.
more about that
Thank
in
you.
a minute.
One of the things we have done with support from EU, ACODE has supported the Ministry of Water and Environment to come up with a Rwizi management catchment plan. It is going to be costed with a number of aspects, and it's going to be launched actually on the 20th. That catchment and management plan has different aspects that other stakeholders can pick out, like private sector, civil society, government, and implement. We think at the end of the day, so we'll have a Rwizi catchment management plan, and then if we implement it like in the next 10 years, the river should be restored. I should also tell you that while the Rwizi is degraded in most of the parts, there is one part called the Nyakambu, which is one of the tributary. It has been restored to 100%, and there is a shift in terms of economic livelihoods of communities. So that's one of the areas we'll be showcasing. And NTV is actually going to cover this symposium live. So we want to invite people to tune in on the 19th from around 10 o'clock to around 12:30. It will be live in your sitting room, and you look at the degradation but also the restored areas. And we want to invite everybody, because most of the river systems in this country are degraded. So we want to restore rivers, and after rivers we want to move on to Nyamwamba, to Mporogoma, and other rivers that are degraded.
So it's not only Rwizi, but other water bodies.
And other water bodies. So we are starting with this as just a pilot, and the experience will be then replicated elsewhere.
I'm afraid we've run out of time. Dr. Arthur Bainomigisha, the Executive Director of the Advocates Coalition on Development and Environment, telling us more about the symposium that is forthcoming on Thursday and Friday. Also, don't forget the Uganda Water and Environment Week that will be taking center stage on Monday next week up to